I guess the purpose of this video is to make my email inbox less of a chore to sort through. That's it. That's my intro. Hi, I'm Amanda, you're watching Swell Entertainment, and today we are talking about how to reach out to creators or how to sell yourself to creators, pitch your company, whether it's for a brand deal, you want to work with them, a collaboration, you want to send them product, what have you. I'm hoping to cover a lot of information in this video because one, I just am tired of bad emails in my inbox, but also I'm tired of startups not knowing how to pitch themselves in general, let alone to creators that they want to work with. This is my backdrop today because my goal is to stay calm in this video because obviously you guys understand me better. I come across better when I'm calm and composed and just casually explaining myself. But there are times where I do want to just yell like this guy. So he is my inner thoughts for this video. Now I'm sure when I put this video out, I'm gonna get quite a few content creator friends reaching out to me like they usually do when I do my videos about products, events in general, because at the end of a lot of those videos, I do basically like a little workshop section where I make recommendations, suggestions, how we can fix things that either I had a problem with or that you can just tweak in the future. Like, hey, let's try and make this better. I have people who tell me, why do you do that? You're basically doing consulting work for free. To which I respond, no one takes my advice anyway, so it doesn't matter. Also, I'm still making money off of it. I don't care if they go take my idea, tweak things, and then make $1 bajillion. I would hope that they would take my advice and put out a better product, a better event, you know, whatever. And no one gets hurt or injured or whatever. I hope people take my advice. I'm trying to think of where to start, but I think I'm going to start with how creators make money. I've talked about this quite a bit. Like, I'm 25, but I'm used to actual adults, people's parents, my friends' parents, older people in general, not understanding how content creators specifically on YouTube make money, which is totally understandable. If you have an adult real job and you don't have to be beholden to an algorithm to make money, power to you, okay? I went to a creators and marketers event the other night. So the whole point of this event was for creators and marketers of companies to meet, maybe make deals, discuss future partnerships, whatever, and also to give us access to some of their products so that we could potentially talk about them, fostering relationships with creators and brands. No big deal. I partook in their creator speed dating event, which was a bunch of marketers sitting in one spot, and then creators would come and go back and forth, and they would kind of talk about what they did. I would talk about what I do. There was multiple instances where I mentioned I do product reviews. They were like, oh, well, how long have you been doing this? And I would explain that I've been doing this since I was 16. And then when I was about 18 is when I started doing the I Tried It So You Don't Have to series. I would explain that. They would be like, okay, so companies send you products for you to review. No, companies usually don't send me products because they're worried about how I will talk about them because I require being honest. I do not do paid reviews. And they're like, so what, you request products to do videos on? And I was like, no. But I think what made it a little confusing for this guy is I talked about the Pluffle and how I had just done a review of the Pluffle because I talked about all of these things because I think they just assumed I did makeup product reviews, review all types of products, but usually products that start within social media. So I reviewed the Pluffle, the human dog bed that was on Shark Tank. Oh, so what, they sent you the product to review? I was like, no, I paid $500 to have it shipped to me and I did a full review. And he was like, how do you make money then if you're buying the products? And I got to explain to him that one, I make way more money from the videos than I usually spend on the products. I had made it very clear that I consider myself a variety creator and I do a variety of different topics. And so therefore not every single video has a price tag attached to it. Case in point, this video right here. Okay, so yeah, YouTube pays you from ads, but like what else? And so I explained like, well, one, AdSense is a majority of what I make. There are a lot of creators who make most of their money from brand deals. I am not one of those creators. I do brand deals. And I explained a couple of different times that like, oh, ad rates are different for certain people. Obviously, if you're in economy, finances, whatever, you're going to have a crazy high CPM. I have a fairly good CPM for the fact that I cover a wider range of topics because I've been told that the entertainment niche is actually surprisingly cheap when it comes to ad rates. So I'm very well off with my RPM. I'll pull it up right now. Let's see what my RPM is. My RPM right now for the last 28 days is $7.41. Usually about $8, $9 is where I've been at. I didn't tell these people how much money I made. I explained that I'm not struggling. So when I choose to work with a company or a company pitches themselves to me, if they assume that I need the money, they're already starting behind. What you hear a lot of creators complaining about is how inconsistent the money is. It can be hard to get a traditional financial company to understand how you make money and where the money is coming from and all this other stuff. So you have companies like Carrot Financial. They are not at all affiliated with this video. They are not sponsoring me. I do have one of their cards. Carrot really does want to help creators. And that's not to say that all the companies in my DMs and my emails are not also wanting to help creators. But I feel like so many of them are forgetting that creators are people. They just kind of see us as billboards for your company, which is the case with sponsorships at the end of the day. Obviously, you want me to talk about your product for my audience, which is now at 350,000. Thank you guys. I don't, but they're hoping I'll talk about it so that you guys will eventually buy it, whether I do a full-length review on it or not. But this is something that I've experienced quite a bit that I think is very important. Listen. This is an extreme metaphor, but have you seen the TikToks where the mother has an issue with the mother-in-law? The mother is like, you have to respect the mother if you want access to the child, the grandchild. If you don't respect the creator, you do not get access to the audience. Yes, that is an extreme comparison, but that's my point. Why should I talk about your product and put you on this pedestal if you're gonna treat me like garbage? If you're gonna treat me like I'm stupid? Oh, she just doesn't understand what we're doing, how cool we are, but we really want her to talk about it. No, it's like, no. You're pitching me something that I don't need. Why would I promote it to someone else? So super easy step. Be respectful. And that's not just being respectful like, hey, how are you? Here's our deal. Would love to hear a response from you. It's not emailing once a day for 2 months. Yes, I have had that. It's not getting mad at me when I don't reply for whatever reason. I do my own bitch work. My inbox is insane, okay? I don't have an assistant. I don't have a digital assistant. It's just me. I may not get to you right away. And that's okay. I try to be on top of things, but sometimes things slip through the cracks. Also, I check my emails first thing in the morning when I'm still half asleep. That's a character flaw, but still. It's one thing if you send a message and you wait a week and then you bump it like, hey, I just wanted to follow up, see if you saw this. That's one thing. I would say after the third email of no responses, it's time to move on. For whatever reason, okay? I'm probably not worth your time at that point, whether I'm trying to be respectful because I looked at your pitch, looked at your website and was like, why would I need this? What the F is this? And I just chose not to reply. There has been times where it's that, sometimes it's nicer to not say anything at all. And sometimes that's what needs to be done. I have to make it very clear that when I say like, oh, I just didn't see the point, or I was trying to be nice, so I didn't say anything at all, that type of thing. I make it very clear that that's very infrequent that is the case, because last time I mentioned something like that on social media, all of my inbox was people detail explaining their companies to me and saying they're sorry that I didn't understand. And it's like, no, I just never, I never saw that original one. Of their sub point of being respectful, don't bait me in the subject lines. This is just dickish behavior. This company is lucky I didn't put them on blast for this alone, okay? This company reached out to me at one point and it was like a emergency food prep company or whatever for doomsday preppers. And I've never done any content like that on this channel. So when they were like pitching me, I was like, I'm fairly certain this went to the wrong person. It didn't make sense with my current content on any of my platforms. And so I was like, okay, clearly this is not meant for me. So I just didn't reply. That's how it goes. They sent me several in the span of 3 weeks, several messages. And then finally, they sent me a subject line in all caps that said, why did you skip our meeting? And I panicked because I am someone that's an anxiously early person. I'm early to meetings. I'm the person that logs into a group call meeting 3 minutes before the start time because I want to make sure I don't miss anything. Okay, I am that person. So for someone to go and do that, I panicked 100%. And then I realized, wait, no, this is the company I'm not replying to. We never had a meeting. I never even replied to them. So finally I did reply to them and said, hi, this is so goddamn unprofessional. And how dare you do this? We never had a meeting. How dare you do that? I was pissed. I was so mad. And I know I'm not the only person that this has happened to. I don't think with this company, but with other companies. Don't bait creators to reply to you, okay? Hey, we have an offer for you. Potential sponsorship. We'd love to work with you. Things like that. That's fine. That's normal, okay? That's not crazy. Whew. Next point. This also could fall under respect, but this is just due diligence. You should know my name. Hey, I'm Amanda. You're watching Swell Entertainment. It's in the first minute of every single one of my videos. You should not call me Swell Entertainment in your email. I don't care if it came from a list of content creators that you have at the office, maybe look me up. It's like a 20-second Google search. You will find my real name, Amanda. It's super easy. And the case goes with most creators. There are a lot of creators who don't want their real names out there, so they have a name that's out there. Whatever name you can find most readily, that's the one you use. Amanda is on pretty much every single platform. You should be able to know my name. Same goes with my content. Certain things are understandable. I don't drink. I talk about it in videos, but it's not a cornerstone of my content, so I can understand why a brand would not know that I would not promote any form of hard seltzer or anything like that. I have a dog. I think that's pretty clear. If you check social media, I have a dog. I'm not going to promote cat products. Obviously, due diligence is different for everybody and what you're going to find out about a creator if you do the bare minimum of research. Even if you watch 5 TikToks and scroll through their Instagram feed or watch 1 video of mine or even half of 2 videos of mine, you'll get a pretty good sense of like what I talk about and what I don't talk about and things like that. I think as a brand, that's an important step for you because don't you want to make sure that your product is being pitched to an audience that fits your needs? I just think the bare minimum of research should be like a important step in your wanting to work with me process. Let's talk about sending the email. I do recommend emails over DMs. There are quite a few creators that do business over DMs. Personally, I barely check my DMs because there's so much unhinged shit in there sometimes. So I only check it at certain times. And even then, I'm sure there are some that I miss. So if you definitely want me to see it, an email is better. Do not send me your dick pics to my email. I'm going to be really annoyed. Most creators have a publicly available email. Mine is swellentertainmentx@gmail.com. That is my publicly available email. Do not try and find a different one. Probably because you can't, but also just don't, okay? If you find one that looks like it might be a personal email, or if it's so-and-so at pr.com or whatever the heck it is for their management, use that one. Honestly, if you can go through creators management, I think it's better for you. What happens more often than not is companies reach out to me, and if I go through them and I vet them to some degree, and then I forward them on over to my management to handle negotiations and things like that when it comes to brand deals, because I don't like being a dick if I don't have to. I have my management mainly so that they can be a dick for me, and also it's something I don't have to worry about. But we want to work with so-and-so, we want to convince them. It doesn't matter because a lot of people will not take deals that don't come from their management. Again, use the name, easy, first step. Tell why you're reaching out, okay? Don't do a sob story. Don't do a pity story. I am a small business and X. We do X. We've been struggling with X. Don't do that. I am a small business. Every other creator, for the most part, is a small business. And I've talked about this years ago in 2020 with my TikTok marketing video. Pity gets you 1 sale. That's all it will get you. I don't think it's a good marketing tactic whatsoever. I don't recommend it ever. At the very least, you're gonna make me feel sorry for you. You're not gonna make me think that you want me to work with you. Not that just saying like, oh, we're a small business is a pity move, but don't say like, we're a small business and we can't pay you because of X. Just don't put that on your first line of your email. You can get to that later. Tell me what you have that you want me to talk about. Be very clear. Don't do something like we're doing something super amazing and we want you involved. Skip that. Save that for the end. Keep this part short and sweet. Here's why I like your videos. Here's why we think you'd be a good fit. Here's the actual company. Here is our deal. All this stuff. Would love to talk about you with this further because I know that certain things, I think Gmail has like a no soliciting thing or something like that. Then sign it with your name. Any contact info that you have available. Maybe what your position at the company is. But not just position at company. That's how I know it's a scam. Manager at blank. Give me your name. I need to know who I talk to at the very least. Again, going back to the elevator pitch. Your email is your elevator pitch. You can have 2 elevator time slots, but you got to put as much as you can in here. Don't tell me about how super cool it is. I don't recommend some people do this. Some people like this. I personally ignore this because I talk about products that are cult favorites all the time. And I don't care where you've been featured in. I don't care if you've been an L. I don't care if you were on the Oprah show, you know, like I just don't care about that personally. Some people do. Some people may want to know that you're established in that way. It doesn't dissuade me, but it doesn't sell me on it either. I just personally think that that's just unnecessary. I'd rather you just take the space to tell me about your company or the product you want me to promote or whatever. This has happened multiple times where I've replied to an email with, thank you so much for reaching out. I have no idea what your company is, and I have no idea why you're reaching out to me. I have done that multiple times. Because they just say, this is our company name. Here is the link, the end. Or they just give me the name of the company and then I can't find any other information because they didn't give me the full name or like the website's like something weird. I had this one instance. This was funny. My friend is convinced they were trying to mess with me or other creators, but these people, I said, I don't understand what you're I don't understand what this company is. And rather than send me a further explanation, they sent me a video call that they had directed at me. They said my name and everything, so I know it was meant for me, explaining for 7 minutes their company without explaining a goddamn thing. I think it was a joke. I still don't understand. They were just talking about how they wanted to help creators make money and how this was going to make them more money than, say, Amazon. But then they actually never told me what the company was, just that I could make money and become a millionaire while also still making content. I was going to reply and I just never did because I was like, I'm so confused. I feel like I had a stroke watching this video. They talked in circles so many times. It's almost impressive. So yeah, very clear description of what your company is. If you want me to promote a product, very clear description of what the product is that you want me to promote. If you want to explain how you want me to actually work with you, whether it's gifting me the product, sending me the product for review, things like that, you can put that at the end and then again, sign off and all of that. Next, be prepared for creators to have different rules for themselves than other creators that you've worked with in the past. I do not do paid reviews. What I've been getting a lot lately is people offering to send me something, but they want a TikTok video, a Instagram story, a video in exchange for me receiving the product. No. If you would like to send me something to my P.O. box is in the description box of this video. It's in my Instagram highlights reel. If you want to send me something for the chance for me to talk about it, you can do that. Most people don't want to do that because I'm annoying and opinionated. And they're worried about what I'm going to say. So they don't do that, which is fine. That is 100% within your right. It's also 100% in my right for me to decline doing something for promotion like that. What I do is sponsorships. And those are 60 seconds to 90 seconds. Usually I don't like doing 90-second ones though, because you guys don't like them. 60-second integrations in the first 5 minutes of a video. And those I am paid for. When I say this video is sponsored by, I received money for that brand deal. Again, those are not reviews. That is me promoting my audience and I charge for that. A company may not be able to afford my rates or they may not think that that's worth it. That is fine. We can part our ways and go on with life living as we were. If you send me something and you don't clear with me first for whatever reason, you run the risk of me not talking about it. That's the thing that I see complained about quite a bit on social media, with me in particular, where someone tried to buy one of the products from me or someone else in their life and I hadn't replied to their messages or I hadn't seen them or whatever. The way I found out this person had been emailing me was that one of their emails did finally get through, and it was an email that was very disappointed in me and said, "Wow, so I can't believe you kept the money," or something like that. And I replied and was like, "What are you talking about?" I went and checked my Venmo because sometimes you guys randomly send me $1 to send me your phone numbers and things like that. Checked my Venmo. I checked PayPal. I checked any of their platforms that I thought like, oh, maybe someone could have stumbled upon this and sent me money for whatever reason. I maybe check my P.O. box 2 times a month because it's just for you guys and I don't get a ton of stuff, which is fine. What had apparently happened was that he had sent me a return envelope so that I could give him the product, and he put money in it so that I could take payment for it. And without me ever replying and saying, yeah, sure, send the money, that works out, he just sent me the money. And basically one of the other emails, it's like, you can either keep the money and the product or you can like return it or whatever. And he had just assumed that I kept the money when I hadn't even gone to my P.O. box and seen it yet. And sure enough, I went and returned the money because I wasn't going to sell the product. And I told him as much. But again, that's out of line. That's not okay. What are you doing? There have also been instances where I've seen small business owners making exposing videos on influencers and content creators because they sent them product to their P.O. box and the creator never once reached out to them, never requested the product. They never said, yes, sure, I'd love to see it, like send it to me, I'd love to post it, whatever. They just sent the product and then were mad that the creator never posted it. PR, you do not have to post every element of PR, for the record. I don't even get PR. I think I've gotten 1 piece of PR, maybe 2 in the last 3 years. You do not have to post PR if you do not want to post PR. It's a risk that you take when you send that to an influencer or creator, especially if they did not reach out to you. There's another creator that I saw who I follow, who I like. She made a video saying like, oh, any creator who says that it's too many messages to reply to all of them, I have over like 1.3 million or something like that. And I replied to all of my messages and things like that. good for you. A bitch has anxiety, okay? I can't possibly go through all my messages. And it's not even just that there's so many of them, it's that I get overwhelmed. At the end of the day, a lot of this job is very solitary, and it's not surprising that a lot of people who are loners, have anxiety, have other social what have you, gravitate towards this job because we get to do it alone. Yes, I go out and do my videos and things like that, but like I just stay here for 3 days. I have not left my apartment in 2 days now as I'm filming this. I've been around my dog. It's been great. I can't handle all of the messages. I just can't. The final thing I want to say in this video is that something that I think is very important. Several business people lately, I've explained this to them. Someone is always trying to sell a content creator something. Not just, creators are always trying to sell you something, influencers are always trying to sell you something, vice versa. People are always trying to sell them something because they are hoping that you will let them use your billboard space so that they can make more money off of you, okay? Off of me. This next part is important, especially if you are trying to sell a product that's this, but better for whatever reason. So I use Patreon. I'm very happy with Patreon. I've been using Patreon since before I had the following that I have now, okay? I'm comfortable with it. My audience is comfortable with it. Does it have its drawbacks? Yes, but I'm established on Patreon. When half of my email business offer inboxes are telling me about why I should switch over to their new platform for connecting with your audience that I can also make money off of, you're already kind of starting from less than zero. You're starting negative 30%, okay, for convincing me, because you have the extra task of convincing me not just that you're better than Patreon, but that I should go through the stress, hassle, and loss of support from my audience from making the switch over to your new platform. Because again, I'm comfortable with Patreon. I would have to relearn your platform. I would have to be convinced of the fact that there's quite a few people who would not follow me over to your new platform. That's why you have so many people on TikTok who build all these followings on TikTok and then they don't follow them over to other platforms. Same goes with Patreon. There are people who are just like, they support me on Patreon because they support a bunch of people on Patreon. The main perks of Patreon are obviously the verbal shoutouts, the on-screen shoutouts and things like that in these videos, but they also get bonus raw footage, which is usually quite large files, videos early, and live streams, okay? Various live streams. If you cannot do that already, the direct messaging feature that so many of these platforms tout, I don't care about that. No offense. I go through the messages on Patreon. Thank you, whatever. Send me a video request idea. That's cool. But we're not chatting. We're not texting. That's why you see so many OnlyFans models who have literal assistants or companies that do their messaging for them. It's an overwhelming process. It's a lot. Not to say that I'm on the same level as OnlyFans creators, but my point stands. It's an extra thing to do. It's more work. Where the value comes in typically is usually the money aspect. Do I get a higher percentage of the payouts? For example, Fourth Wall. Here's an example of a company that was able to convince me to switch over. I was previously using Teespring. There are still a few things on Teespring. I'm trying to make the switch over permanently, completely, but it's a slow process for me because I am slow. At TwitchCon, I weaseled my way into their Oasis at TwitchCon and started talking to a couple of their people and then got reached out to them after the event, was like, hey, we saw you were at our thing. We would love to talk to you about moving your merch store over to Fourth Wall. They explained the money very well. They explained the merch design, product design setup really well. The various product systems they had, I was very intrigued by. The promotion options, the complete control over my merch store options. I liked that. The fact that they knew a little bit about my content already and why merch would be good. And when I explained like, oh yeah, merch hasn't always been like a major cornerstone of my content and all this stuff, they were like, oh yeah, well that's because like they were like open to discussing. They had an onboarding process that involved me literally linking my Teespring link to them and they would transfer everything over. The fact that there was a real person I could speak to was great because 2 months prior to that, I had Teespring reach out to me for a meeting. And they had no idea what I did. My store description literally said the official merch store of YouTube channel Swell Entertainment, and they had no idea I was a YouTuber. They were just giving me general advice and trying to get me to use their Facebook integration. That's all it was. I had reached out to them on multiple occasions, their product descriptions, things like that. Wasn't a fan. I don't even think the financial breakdown was all that different between Fourth Wall and Teespring, but it was easier for them, arguably, to convince me to move over because I had made less money on Teespring than I have, say, on Patreon. If the money is not worth your time, then the ease needs to be worth my time. The integration needs to be worth my time. Things like that. Anyways, merch shop, link below. That's mainly what I wanted to talk about. But one company type that I've been seeing quite a bit lately, and I think this has a lot to do with the Mr. Beastification of YouTube. That's not to dig at Mr. Beast. I'm just saying in general, they follow through and all of that, and everyone thinking they need to spend $1 million per video to make money, is these creator loan companies that are doing loans for creators. They'll give you like $40,000, $10,000. Real quick question. You guys have some interesting interest rates on those. I wouldn't take that out on my car or my house. Why do you think I would take that out for a video? Anyways, that's going to be it. Are you a content creator or an influencer? What's the craziest, most ridiculous email offer that you've gotten? Have you ever worked with a company that sent a startup request to your emails? Do you think I should be charging for consulting? I know this video is all over the place. This is probably not a good example of my ability to be a consultant. Let me know. Comment down below. Reminder, I have the podcast, the Swell Shenanigans podcast. Remember to have merch like this mug and maybe a shirt design for this video. I don't know yet. What's something I could do? Ooh, I asked for the bare minimum and you still couldn't do that. That could be a good one. Shout out to my patrons. Thank you so much for supporting my Patreon. If you'd also support my Patreon, list it down below. If you'd like to follow me on social media, that'll be all up here. And that's going to be it. Have a lovely day. Goodbye. I have found that just being polite, like my normal level of politeness, has gotten me very far in this industry at events and the like. Same goes with companies. It will get you very far with creators if, at the very least, you are polite. Thank you, Andrew, Alan, Cameron, Christopher, Chris B, Chris P, Crash PC, China, Dirty One, Don, Donnie, Elliot, Evan, Eric, Eal, Hopeless, Homer, Incognito, Isaiah, Jacare, Joe, John M, Jordan, Joseph, Kenny, Kim, Kristen, Lamb, Lex, Lisa, Luis, May West, Madeline, Matt, Matthew, Meme Lord, Liam, Michael J, Michael T, Micah, Nathaniel, Nocturnal, Pat, Penn, Richard, Rob, Red, Rosie, Red, Robert, Ross, Ryan, Sam, Serena, Skylar, Simon, Tasha, Timothy, Heavenly, Plastic, Tenzin, Tom, Thomas, Qwerty, Victor, Randy, Wendy, Winter, Will, Williams, Endry's Wink.